Hello, and welcome to the Kate and Eric Show here, where we talk about the things that are going on today. So the first few episodes, if you haven't noticed, are pretty hot and heavy. I have not messed around. So I thought maybe, before last weekend happened that, I'll talk about something fun, but that's not probably going to happen. Maybe later I'll talk about something fun. In the wake of last weekend's shooting up here in Dallas, unfortunately, it's just absolutely horrible. I pray my thoughts and prayers are with the family members of the Allen outlet mall shooting. Just horrible. I mean, what is going on here? And of course the left and the liberals and all those are like, it's the guns. We have to get rid of the guns. The guns are the problem. It's an AR-15. He used a horrible AR-15 gun. We got to get rid of them. The high capacity rounds, blah, 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 automatic, semi-automatic. I mean, so what do they want us to do? Go back to black powder guns? They want us to sit there and load black powder rifles? Is that what they want? Because if you try to ban every scary looking gun, it will pretty much ban every gun that we have right now because they're all semi-automatic. You pull the trigger, it shoots. You keep pulling the trigger and it shoots. But of course, that is not the answer. We don't, as I went over last time, our rights, and I know I didn't get into all the ones I had listed, but I felt like the episode had gotten kind of long, so I went ahead and kind of wrapped it up. Because I did mention healthcare and some other things and other rights. So if you want to listen to that, that's episode 3. This is episode 4 here. So I would like to go over this horrible shooting. I mean, it's just awful what had happened. And what do we do? I have some ideas of what we could do. People aren't going to like it. What's required for us to do is we have to turn our hearts back. We have to get the soul of America back. We have to turn our hearts to God. And I don't know how else to say this, but that's my opinion on it. We have to turn back to God. I mean, look at what's happened since that we've taken prayer out of the schools. I mean, it's just one thing after another, it seems like. And, of course, the Biden administration is going to lie to us and say, there's been about 200 mass shootings this year already. But, yeah, ice cream. Which is a complete lie. There has not been 200 mass shootings this year of 2023. So I'd like to go over an article here that talks about, here from the lovely, reliable NBC, where they already seem to know they claim not to know, but they've already labeled out this guy was a white supremacist, that he supported the Nazis, he supported all these things, and he supposedly had some tattoos of swastikas and the SS symbol, but his name is that, and he is Hispanic. So I don't know, how can you be a white supremacist but then be Hispanic at the same time? So this article goes on to here that says that a social media page appearing to belong to a gunman who killed 8 people at a Dallas area outlet mall had shared extremist beliefs with rants against Jews, women, and racial minorities, which he was a member of the racial minority. So he hated it himself, apparently. Posted since September as well. Post about struggling with mental health. Keep that in mind. His name is Mauricio Garcia. Sorry, I can't roll my R, so I don't know why my daughter can sit there and do it, and I can't. I don't know. I didn't get that gift, apparently. 33 maintained a profile on a Russian social networking platform, OK.ru. I've never heard of that. Including posts referring to extremist online forums such as 4chan. I don't know what that is either. Never heard of that. And the content for white nationalists, including this Nick Fuentes, an anti-Semitic and white nationalist provocateur. Great. Let's see. He's lovely. I looked him up a little bit, and he's a lovely character. In the weeks before the attack, Garcia posted about more than 24 photos of an Allen outlets. So what it is. It's an outdoor outlet mall. I've actually been there. Me and my wife have been there a couple of times. We went there for I believe Valentine's Day. One time we went out there. She got they have all kinds. It's a really cool, it's a really neat area. But it is clear on the other side of the Metroplex from where we live. So it's a nice area. He did what looks like the Japanese did with Pearl Harbor. He kind of posted it out, put photos up, took, where everything was. It says he posted more than 24 photos of an Allen Premium Outlets where an officer killed him after the shooting Saturday and surrounding areas, including several screenshots of Google location information, seemingly monitoring the mall at its busiest time, so he could effectively do the most damage. Many of his posts referred to his mental health. Again, mental health is a problem. We have to get that in check here. In his final post, he lamented that what his family might say and wrote that no psychologist would have been able to fix him. Well, something could have fixed him. I don't know, though. It's really just awful. It's these people with the mental illness. It's not the guns, it's the mental illness. That's what it is. It's our lack of respecting human life, born or unborn. I like to play video games. Is that, these first person shooters, is that it? I'm not going to sit there and blame it all on the video games, but, because I've never had any thought of going out and committing mass murder because of Call of Duty or whatever, which I'm not very good at it anyway. I don't like playing the first person shooters very much because I get my butt kicked. So it's, what do we do here? What do we look at to fix this problem? Because restricting our gun rights isn't going to be the answer, because clearly, as another thing here in Texas, I believe right outside of Houston, where an illegal alien, which we can get into that here in a little bit too, since Title 42 is expiring today or has expired, where we're going to have just a massive invasion of people here in the country because they want to be here and they feel like they deserve it. So anyway, back to this article here is that in another post, and this part here with this NBC article really pisses me off here. It says that in another post, he made disturbing comments about what makes a mass shooting important and praised a person who opened fire at a private Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee this year, killing 6 people, including 3 children. So the NBC article, whoever wrote this, couldn't put in that it was another mental illness, another mental ill person, a trans person. They can't say that. They have to put in a person, praised a person. I mean, we know what happened with the Tennessee thing, even though it's been almost a month and a half now, and they won't release the supposed manifesto or motive or anything, where it's just because they know what it is. It was a hate crime against Christianity, but no, we can't talk about that. So anyway, with this, it just really made me mad that they'll sit there and immediately label this guy a white supremacist, but you can't say what the Tennessee shooter was. So just horrible. In the article, here it goes on. The evidence that has been gathered suggests the shooter subscribed to a mishmash of ideologies, said the law enforcement officials familiar with the details of the investigation. But the official cautioned it may take weeks or months for agents to analyze information to gain a more complete picture of his ideology. He was a whack job, obviously. He had mental illness. You said it in your article many times. He had mental illness. And then, of course, like I said earlier, the Democrats, we get the liberals going out there wanting new gun laws. Texas State Democrat called for the GOP legislature to pass new gun laws on Monday, including restricting the age to own guns and closing gun show loopholes, since it's the guns problem. That's what the problem is. It's the guns problem, not the people. It's not people, it is the guns. So does that mean that since it's guns, I have guns myself. They must be the laziest guns in the world, because they just sit in the case. They just sit there. They don't want to get out and see the world and go see a bunch of people, I guess. They're just the laziest guns in the world, I guess. So anyway, I just feel for these people, because it's just awful what's happened. I don't want to. It needs to, I don't want to talk about this scumbag anymore. So anyway, so lovely world we live in. It's it's not an inanimate object's fault. Just like forks and spoons don't make people fat. That's their own fault. So then here in other news, like I said, Title 42, which restricted people from coming here illegally, is going to end today. And it is just awful. We're going to be waiting here for just a massive amount of people to come here. Just some more articles on this, that we've reached 10,000 people coming across our border every day this week. I mean, that's probably just the ones that we know of, at least. There's going to be just thousands and thousands. They're just sitting there waiting for you to come over. And what will that do? We don't know who they are. We don't know why they're going to come here. If you want to come here the right way, fine. Be, welcome. Be our guest. Come on over now. Come over to the country. If you're going to help us out, bring something to us, more than welcome. Do it legally. Don't just try and cross in the Rio Grande. And we don't know who you are. We don't know if there's going to be other, human smugglers. We don't know if, the Biden's own administration has said that they caught here in the last few months. They've said this. The lovely KJP has said that they have caught 98 known terrorists. 98 of them. It took 13 for 9/11. So, do the math there. What can these people do when they're here? And we're not going to know who they are, what they're about. They're just going to come. And we'll have the lovely Biden administration just not going to do a thing about it. Even though, he's supposedly sending 1,500 troops down to our southern border. Thank goodness for Greg Abbott. And sending down the troops and people that he did to try to stem this. If you look at the pictures I've seen videos and pictures of El Paso, which is right there on the border with Mexico, and it looks like a third world country. It looks like a third world city. People are just all over the streets. They've got, it's nice for them. They have state-of-the-art porta potties, so I guess, it won't look like San Francisco and LA with crap everywhere. So they've got, some porta potties set up. But it's just the administration won't do a thing about it. They're probably happy. If I keep hearing that, if you wanted to do something to make the country worse, what else would you do different? We have, I loved, maybe next episode here, I'll talk about the, town hall meeting with Trump here, because that was amazing. He did a great job. And of course, the left and the liberals trying to paint, he was so mean, he didn't answer about Ukraine and blah, 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 blah. And they whine about how it would cost way too much money to build a wall. Where you've got video of here in Texas that border patrol agents, or maybe they were border, maybe they're part of some Texas National Guard or something like that. They're just standing there right in the way of the people coming across, and hey, they were like, oh, dang it, they were standing there with their barbed wire fence, and the people were being turned away. So let's build a wall. Why don't we do that? The Democrats, they whined and whined about, hey, it's going to cost too much. It's going to be $5 billion to build this wall. That's too much money. But in the, what we're doing with Ukraine instead is we've sent them $200 billion, worth in aid and equipment. So we're shelling out the money to Zelensky there, which is horrible. But if you want to defend your own country, do it yourself. Why are the Democrats now all of a sudden like pro-war with Russia? Apparently, it's a proxy war with Russia right now. And why are we spending all this money? Why don't they go back? Why don't they tell you what they could do is they could go down to Afghanistan there. That's way closer than the United States. And they could use some of our equipment that we left there in Afghanistan. Why don't they go do that? That would kind of help, right? So our equipment, we left to the Taliban. That was a total crap show as well. So good job there. Good job there, President. Way to go. Way to be. I'll just tell you, he's just the absolute worst in the world. But then you got his press secretary here. And I'll try to, if this doesn't sound very good, apologize, but you've got her with this lovely piece here, so hang on.
I will tell you this, the president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
He's the best communicator. He communicates his policies well. He communicates everything. Even though, I love this. This is from Senator John Kennedy here. Let's check this out.
The Biden administration sucks.
Amen. Hold on.
The Biden administration sucks.
Certainly does. And then his Biden's approval rating here.
President Biden's approval rating ranks right up there with jock itch.
Oh, that's just perfect.
President Biden's approval rating ranks right up there with jock itch.
So yeah, his approval rating's great. He's the best communicator in the White House, man. We got the best dude in the office. Meanwhile, we've got unemployment that's horrendous. We've got inflation. So I'm trying to think of the word. Inflation was horrible. The price of eggs is like 4 times what it was. The price of gas is horrendous. Just awful. Just awful. So if you were to mess this country up more, what would you do? A bit different, Would you do anything different? Would you just say, to heck with everything? They might as well take the Constitution and set it ablaze, because that's kind of what they've done here with everything else. So, we have to wake up, though. If you're not woken up now, but the price of gas, with your energy bills going up, with every freaking thing that we buy going up, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. You're just blind, and I guess you just hate Trump so much because his approval ratings right now it's gonna smash Biden. We still got a year, and with all the fake crap that's going out with Trump right now, with this with the lady there who's claimed that he didn't rape her, but it was, she doesn't know what it was. She doesn't know when it happened. What the heck was her name? She's bizarre. I saw some videos with her with Anderson Cooper and everything, saying that some people think that rape is sexy. I don't think anybody in the world thinks that. Let's see. Let me try to find her. All right. Her name is E. Jean Carroll. And she is quite the lovely person. Anything to smear this guy, and yet they have, there's all kinds of corruption here with the Biden administration, his family getting all kinds of money from foreign nationals for supposed favors to them. I mean, it's a crap show. So, like I said, at the beginning of this, I was going to talk about something fun, and then just the shooting happened. So I think I will. I think I will talk about some fun things that make you proud of him to be an American, to live here in America. Because there are so many things that have changed the world thanks to the United States inventions, things that came from America. The top 20 famous, well, it was most famous or just famous American inventions. The Ferris wheel, the lovely thing. There's one in London that's right there on the river. I haven't been there, but I think it'd be cool. Ferris wheel, chocolate chip cookies. So you can thank America for that. Dental floss, class blockers, hearing aids, cardiac defibrillators. Being in healthcare, I have used what's called an AED. And that's right there alongside that. Saving people's lives. Radiocarbon dating, traffic lights, crash test dummies, microwave ovens, assembly lines, because we wanted to get things done quicker. Lasers, LEDs, the GPS system, global positioning system, chemotherapy, video games. All right. Email, mobile phones, personal computers, and the internet. Isn't that lovely? I love that. That's just great. It's things that can make you proud of being in America, things that have made America, or things that make the world better, are those inventions. Also, there's a lot of other things too. I like to Star Wars. I mentioned Star Wars last time, but George Lucas is an American, and thanks to him, we have Star Wars. And me and my wife here recently, we actually watched a thing on, I know it's the Disney Channel, it's Disney Plus, and I hate giving money to these woke people, but I don't know how else to watch Star Wars. But they have this thing on the Disney Plus called Industrial Light and Magic, where they, the special effects company that George Lucas had came up with, to make the shots, and they were just pioneers, just amazing job with everything they did to make the special effects. And there are so many movies and so much. I mean, they Terminator 2, they came up with that. Jurassic Park, they came up with the special effects for that. And the one thing I didn't know is that ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, they came up and invented Pixar because they wanted to, because George knew that computerized special effects were going to be kind of the thing in the future. And of course, he did that with the special edition Star Wars, which I would like to watch the original Star Wars without the kind of computerized stuff in it, because that's what made them great. But you can't find those anywhere unless you have like an old VHS tape, I guess. It's because they're not online, or maybe I don't know. You can find them maybe online, but they're not on the regular Disney Channel. Anyway, so they came up with Pixar, which has been Toy Story, Monsters Inc., all these other great movies. I can thank Star Wars for that. And I'd also like to thank America for Star Wars. So you're welcome, world. You are welcome. And then on that lovely note, I think I'll end this episode. But again, my absolute thoughts and prayers are going out to the people in Allen and also, of course, Tennessee, because it's just horrible. It's not the guns. It's never have been the guns. It's never will be the guns. It's the fact that people don't put human life as an importance. They don't. I mean, when people are screaming and yelling that it's a right to kill your baby, that you have to do that, or somehow you're, suppressing women's right to choose or whatever. I don't know. 98% of them are just because. So what do we do about the shooting problem? Well, there's the red flags. Obviously, this Texas guy, he clearly posted things all over the internet. So, I don't know, you look into that. But, with the President Doofus face in the White House and the DOJ and FBI have now become these political weapons that he's using against conservatives and against the right. Who knows? Maybe I hate to say it, but maybe they want something like this, these things to happen so they can force their, gun laws and things. But they'll, of course, like always, it isn't going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. Giving and restricting people's right to own a gun and defend themselves isn't going to do a darn thing to stop this stuff. What it'll hurt is they'll have more gun-free zones and people will not be able to defend themselves because you've taken them away. Because criminals clearly don't give a crap about our laws. They don't give a crap about it. They'll do it anyway. I mean, look at what's going on. Another thing, maybe I'm not going to end it this episode, but another thing that's going on, people just in California are just stealing, straight out just stealing. And Walmart in Chicago, I mean, it's these major American cities, is that they are closing their stores because people don't care. They don't care about laws. They just go in, take whatever. They don't care about human life. Take that. Doesn't matter. It's not the guns. It's not restricting those. It isn't going to do a darn thing to stop any of this. What we have to do is turn our hearts and souls and know that human life is precious and not something that can be just taken away because out of convenience or because you're just mad at somebody for whatever reason. We have to get the soul of our country back. And the way to do that is we have to become, I believe the vast majority of people are good people, though. I don't know, maybe I'm just being way over optimistic. I hope not, because I really do think that there are a lot of good people here still in this country. I think that we have a huge problem with the media making celebrities of these people that go out and commit these heinous crimes, and then vilifying the good guys. I mean, there's another case here in Texas with the mostly peaceful BLM and Antifa protests that happened for, 5 or 6 months, where they burned down cities, took over cities. There was I think he was off duty, I believe, police officer who was just trying to drive through Austin, and a guy came running up to his car. I mean, of course, there's a crowd of just morons out there just trying to cause chaos, havoc, destruction. That's what happened. $2 billion worth of destruction and dozens of lives lost. I can go into that later. But he ended up shooting a guy because one of the protesters, one of the rioters, pointed an AR-15 at this off-duty cop. And what does the cop do? What is a sane, normal person going to do? Oh my gosh, someone's pointing a gun. Obviously, he was trained. I believe he was trained. I believe he was in the military. You shoot the guy. You shoot the person who is trying to harm you, whether it be you, your family, or those around you. Of course, you're going to defend yourself. I mean, how ridiculous. So, taking away our rights to own firearms isn't going to solve anything. It's not. We have to turn our hearts and souls back to God. That is going to be the key. That is the only key. And the only key that's going to work. All these other keys aren't going to work. that is the key to turning our hearts and souls. And it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt, but it's going to be good for us. So we have to turn our hearts and souls back to God, bring prayer back into the schools. I know that, oh my gosh, I'll be flipping out because it's going to be prayer in schools again. We can't have that. Separation of church and state, which I'll, in the future episode, I'll probably go into that too, because that's just a bunch of garbage. So I believe that is the key to solving this problem, is we need to turn our hearts and souls back to God. So with that, I'll leave you tonight. And please pray for this country. I pray for the leadership, even though he is an absolute doofus scumbag. Pray for the president. Pray that maybe he'll turn his heart and soul back. I kind of doubt it, but let's pray for the country. Pray for the people. Pray for the people that they will choose right. So with that, have a good night.